We got a new Olamasama video, the biggest frauds ever. But hold on though. Yo, Olamasama, bro. Riddle me this, bro. Why did I see Gojo in the thumbnail? Rengoku in your thumbnail? What is this about? Gojo a fraud is wild. This dude from oh, this is Mihawk, right? Dracula Mihawk. See, I don't watch One Piece, but I know, and I definitely did not just search it up. Anyways, and then Rengoku, what? He died a hero. Nah, this actually could have turned out better, but it was still so beautiful in the movie. I just feel like Tanjiro and the other two dudes could have helped, but it is what it is, bro. It was still like a majestic ending. Anyways, bro, shout out to Olamasama. Let's see what my man got going on, bro. Smoking on that Rengoku pack. Why you doing that for, bro? Oh wait, what is this in the intro?
When looking at the discourse of many communities, you may often find someone calling a certain character or person a fraud. But what do people mean when they say this? Webster says a fraud is a person who is not what he or she pretends to be, or in other words, an imposter or a pretender. Now,
Among Us. We got a lot of people like that. Yup. Y'all coming here talking crazy in my chat, bro. But little did y'all know, I know everything. No, don't say me, bro. That's you guys. That's you, bro. Y'all know who I'm talking to? Y'all know who I'm talking to?
Fraud is a person who is not what he or she pretends to be, or in other words, an imposter or a pretender. Now, in the right context, the word fraud is appropriate to use, but in many cases, the word is misused greatly. The word has been ran into the ground so much that it has lost a lot of its original meaning. Another example of this happening is the term crash out, where people have spammed it so much that the word is meaningless. Anime, cartoons, sports, movies, comics, etc. People are quick to call someone a fraud after losing a fight or a game, when it is simply not justified. And you know, since I've been really negative in some of my recent videos, I wanted to switch it up a bit and take some time to dispel some of the fraud narratives around certain characters. So it's all positivity, man, no slander today, okay guys? The first example I want to bring up is the admirals from One Piece, as they feel like some of the most polarizing characters in the series. These guys are said to be the strongest fighters of the Marines and are shown to be some of the strongest characters in the entire series. However, fraud allegations are consistently attached to these guys' names, but quite frankly, I don't believe these allegations have much, if any, validity to them, because the admirals have shown that their titles aren't capped. Well, besides those times where you get your face broken in by a 70-year-old man who can't even use hockey and has Ebola. My bad, no slander, no slander. No,
we need that, bro.
Fight, they do show that they can hang with their opponents fairly easily. Like when Kizaru clashed with Rayleigh, he was keeping up with them without breaking too much of a sweat. And plus, this is Silver's Rayleigh we're talking about, the right hand to the Pirate King. Let's not downplay him like he's some fodder bum. Although he's old, we still have seen older characters putting in work. Even then, Rayleigh was low-key huffing and puffing during their skirmish, so who knows if this man even had enough stamina to keep fighting. A similar
chat question. Because they're admirals, are they at the top of the top? Like, these are like, you know, one of the highest ranks in terms of like the One Piece world? Because technically, if they are, they should be nice though. The best Marines. Oh, exactly. So yeah, I really do think fraud and crash out and all that does get misused, because as soon as they see them get beat or whatever, like, boom, oh, y'all are frauds. Top of the Marines? Okay, bet. Let's see.
Can be applied to the Akainu and Whitebeard fight. It's not like Akainu died or got knocked out. He got back up and went back to work. Shoot, I'm not even saying that Whitebeard wasn't stronger than Akainu, but let's not act like these guys weren't trading blows throughout their fight. Another guy who be getting a lot of flack is Green Bull, because he ran from Wano due to he who shan't be name's hockey. But people fail to mention that Green Bull was basically forced to run away from Wano because he was the only major hitter from the Marines there. What y'all want him to do? Engage with one of the emperors of the sea? You don't just go attacking Yonkos willy-nilly. They have too much influence, especially Shanks. He would have gotten jumped and people would still call him a fraud. It's best to just run away and spin back another day. And y'all must have known that I was bringing this guy up, the greatest and strongest swordsman in the world, Mihawk. Now, whether you think this guy or Shanks is stronger really doesn't matter one bit in terms of the fraud allegations. The allegations only seem to be present because
he got that cool name. He's a sword master or something, right? I think he's one of the first villains or opponents that they face. Oh, he's a warlord. Oh wow, my fault, Swan. Yeah, I know these ranks like sound so cool. And then I remember Celestial Dragon, but apparently that's goofy. 7 Warlord of the Sea. Bro, Mihawk, go crazy, bro.
Famously done nothing significant outside of the
strongest
This notion has caused many fans to become brain dead anytime this man pops up on screen. First off, let's get this straight. Mihawk does this pirate stuff for fun, as he's already proven himself to be the strongest swordsman. So if he don't want to fight, he's not gonna fight.
Oh, but Mihawk don't want to fight Emperor Cruz, so he's fraud.
I don't know why, but some people are really obsessed with the top tier solo squad and Yonko crews like they are not some of the strongest forces. Someone not willing to fight against the strongest armies by themselves does not make them a fraud. They're just just not crazy. You don't gotta be some smoke demon to prove that you're a strong character or that you're
that's
worthy
my
of
man
your
right
title.
there.
And if I really wanted to be boring, it's clear that Oda wants to hide a lot of these characters' max strength until we get to the final arc. So don't expect someone like a Kainu to go all out against some randoms. And as for the painted blade, we all know that's a joke. They just haven't explained how you get a black blade and why it's so impressive. So for now, that meme will live on. I'm gonna give it a buck. I don't even want to talk about Dragon. This is what we've seen him do in the series.
I paint my swords black? So maybe that does make him a fraud.
But it's not just One Piece that has a lot of false fraud allegations. These allegations are rampant in other series. There are people that unironically think that characters like Gojo, Yamamoto, and Rengoku are candidates for the biggest fraud in anime history.
Yo, y'all read the manga? So what happened to Gojo? Y'all said, nah, he a fraud. Yo, hey, till this day, that's my glorious king, bro. It doesn't matter what I said in the past videos. I don't care about Sukuna this, Sukuna that. I don't care, bro. Gojo look good and he's my mans, bro. Stop playing with me. Turn up, bro.
This
Talk
post
to
is
me.
telling me that someone out there on God's green earth believes that Yamamoto is in the same class as Buggy the Clown when it comes to being fraudulent. Now I know it's probably unfair to bring up one post and paint it as widespread opinion, but from my personal experience, I've seen enough people that actually think Yamamoto and Gojo are frauds for me to call it out. First off, why is Rengoku even here?
Yeah, what did he
makes
do?
him a fraud? Losing to an upper moon? Akaza is given the works to basically every Hashira at this point in the story except Gyome. Anyone with upper rank 3 or higher will most likely need to get jumped. This man Rengoku didn't even have a mark. What did people expect him to do? Losing to a stronger opponent does not make you a fraud. Then the fact that people believe Yamamoto was a fraud is laughable. I alluded to talking about this in a previous video because I really wanted to talk about it. Anyways, when Yamamoto said there's no greater security than me, he wasn't necessarily joking or really lying. Besides Squad Zero, who wouldn't even interfere with anything outside of the Soul King Palace, Yamamoto was the strongest security for the Soul Society at that moment. Plus, these guys weren't doing nothing to Yamamoto. What does he need security for?
Damn,
and let's start setting
a
certain record straight. The whole point of Yamamoto being beaten by Mihawk wasn't to show that he's weak or anything. It was to show that over the years he became a stubborn old man. Yamamoto was never the smartest guy in the Soul Society or ever really open to new ideas for real. Man's never even got his arm healed. So him getting duped by Mihawk because of the traits he's already shown throughout the series does not make him a pretender of some sort. His strength
I
is
really
still
do
there.
like what he said though. Just because you lose to a stronger opponent doesn't mean you're a fraud. It's literally self-explanatory. He lost to a stronger opponent. What are you supposed to do, bruh?
In fact, he probably would have defeated this version of Mihawk if he had his Bankai. The clone version of Mihawk, aka Roy Lloyd, was said by the creator himself to have about 70 to 80% of his strength. And we know that this is probably true because he boxed up Kenpachi with just his hands. And when Yamamoto popped his Bankai versus this guy, he was showing all of his moves to try to demoralize
Kenpachi? Wait, I did not hear about that. Like he dead? No. Kenpachi's my mans. What happened? No, this is not true. Yo, this didn't happen. Nah, it didn't happen, bro.
70 to 80% of his strength. And we know that this is probably true because he boxed up Kenpachi with just his hands. And when Yamamoto
he's alive,
popped
okay,
his
but
Bankai versus this guy, he was showing all of his moves to try to demoralize Mihawk. This fight was not like Cell versus Goku during the Cell games. It was a beatdown. Yamamoto was trying to make a statement. So if Yamamoto folded 70% of Mihawk with ease, he probably could beat him with the extra 30%. If you want an analogy, if I get smoked in the 200-meter race by like 10 seconds and I say, hey, wait, I ain't have my spikes on, so I was only going about 75%. What the
Not my
fuck
problem.
is the extra 30% gonna do? I get smoked by 5 seconds instead. And I've gone into why Gojo isn't a fraud multiple times. Gonna spoil the manga a bit, so skip here to avoid that. Let's read this panel real quick.
What people expect is that since he's overly expressed as like being overpowered, yeah, when people got to this part, that's when they're like, wait, what the heck? The strongest sorcerer in history versus the strongest sorcerer of today. Yeah, that's when they called him a fraud, bro.
The strongest sorcerer in history versus the strongest sorcerer of today. Both these dudes claim to be the strongest, so they're seeing who can really own the title. So fighting someone who is dubbed the strongest sorcerer in history for 10 plus chapters and almost winning does not make you fraudulent. People act like Gojo said he'd win and start getting his tail whipped or something when the fight looked like it could have gone either way. And almost dying because someone tried to sneak you does not make you a fraud. If you don't like Gojo, just say that and keep it pushing. Like I said previously, to be a fraud, you have to be deceiving others with an idea that portrays you as something that you are not. This definition isn't very applicable to every character under the sun. To have this definition apply to a character better, you'd have to be getting your butt whipped in a lot of fights you get into and have a name that suggests that you are
Invincible. But yeah, you get washed.
So it's all positivity.
It's that dude, that dude from from One Punch Man. King, right? I think his name. He's a fraud because he goes around and people assume that he's the mighty king or whatever, but he's not, right? Bash, the recent JJK chapters have been crazy. I have not been reading manga. I have not been keeping up with anime, bro. I get my daily dose of anime through these type of videos, bro.
No slander today, okay, guys?
Well, so much for that. Mark is a really special case. He's not like Takamichi.
Positivity, man. No slander today, okay, guys?
Well, so much for that. Mark is a really special case. He's not like Takamichi who gets beaten up because he's a bum of a character and a bum of a delinquent, but he gets beaten up just enough for me to be like, dang, again? The genre Invincible as a series is going for is a more realistic superhero experience for a teenager, so I can't expect him to just win every fight. But the fact still remains that he's gotten beaten up by a lot of people who realistically should be beating someone up named Invincible. Were there no other names available? Was something like Ultraman taken already? Let's be real. Invincible as a superhero name is extremely misleading considering the fact that I see him with a bloody nose in half of his fights.
So that makes him,
Flash, the fastest man alive, not being able to react to normal speed punches. Oh shoot.
What?
I see other characters lose one fight and get dubbed the fraud afterwards. Some of those allegations need to be directed towards Mark, especially in some parts of season 1 and 2. And it's not even the fact that he lost to a character like Battle Beast. There's no shame in that. Battle Beast is like the strongest in the verse and he went against a fairly green Invincible. But zombie robots? That's who's beating you up? Every other episode feels like some random new fighter is beating him up. And before I move on to more slander, if
that's
you're enjoying
fraud
the video
right there.
and you're new, you might as well subscribe. While I'm on a roll talking about frauds, I might as well bring up the Illuminati.
Wait, what?
I'm talking about the Marvel Illuminati.
Oh, hell no.
The one from the MCU. This might be the most useless group of people I've ever seen in my life. They should be one of the most powerful groups in the entire universe considering you.
Yo, bro, they got humiliated, bruh. These are legit bums.
Have Black Bolt and Captain Marvel on the same team, but Reed Richards, one of the smartest people in the Marvel universe, somehow gave away their biggest advantage with Black Bolt by revealing his powers, and then Black Bolt murks himself. I shouldn't even have to explain why this sequence of events is stupid. Like, this is past plot armor. This might just be bad writing. Then expecting Mr. Fantastic to be able to do something against a determined Scarlet Witch, it's just foolish.
And they get packed up like that, like off one go. Yeah, see, this is why, bro, there is no such thing as superhero fatigue. That's what they claimed it as, because most of the Marvel movies weren't getting enough money. Oh, there's a superhero fatigue. No, bro, it's bad story writing. Well, these four are supposed to be right, the Illuminati or whatever, and they'll get packed up within 5 seconds of meeting them.
To be honest, there's no need to bring up Captain Carter. She's irrelevant. But the real nail in the coffin for this fraudulent group is Captain Marvel dying to a statue. Not some crazy Hexorn Infinity Stone blast. A statue and some assistance from Wanda killed one of the strongest beings in the universe. I'm being dead serious right now. How much force did she put on this statue to just instantly murk Captain Marvel?
What's that shit made out of?
People? These are textbook examples of frauds. These guys deceived everyone into thinking that they were actually capable and competent enough to stop the strong threats, but they couldn't even neutralize Scarlet Witch when they clearly had the advantage. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention Professor X. That's how pathetic he was in the movie. Isn't he supposed to be one of the strongest telepaths in Marvel? He just gets his neck snapped in the mindscape and just rolls over. I guess, man. I guess. There are also characters whose whole gimmick is them being a fraud. Hercule is a great case.
Oh yeah, them, yes.
People into thinking that he defeated Cell when we know dang well what happened when he tried to fight him.
Perfect example.
He's very weak compared to the villains in Dragon Ball, but he somehow gets the credit for winning. Fraudulent, but it is funny. And unlike some characters, Hercule's able to box up the average Joe. A character like King is just a regular dude that just skates by because of his luck. This man is an S-class hero, but is incapable of taking down any villain with powers. He don't even know how he got this far. And I'm not even joking. Exactly. King is quite literally an aura man. Most of the villains he comes across don't attack him because they get scared of his mere presence and King Engine. Which, by the way, it's just his heart thumping really loud. So he has fake aura too. I can't even say or tell if it's a gag anymore. King might just have luck manipulation at this point. And who can forget our favorite clown, Buggy D Clown, who really went from rags to riches. He went from East Blue Pirate to Warlord to Emperor of the Sea. And low-key, on the surface, Buggy seems like a fraud. Well, actually, it's not seems. He is a fraud. But I don't think his Emperor status is the craziest thing in the world. Let me explain real quick. Considering the fact that he was on Roger's crew and how the world government pays special attention to anyone with association to that crew, it makes a bit of sense.
Again, these character designs are crazy. Bro, how are you a child and you're born a clown, bro? And then you grow up and then this you, bro. You got a skull tattoo or something in your face. You got a clown nose, red lips. What?
while that play a part into his status as a Yonko. Influence plays a big part in what the world government deems as an emperor. You know who else is a fraud? This guy, the guy from Spy Kids. Not sure if y'all watched this movie when y'all were younger, but this bum tricked me as a child into thinking he was really like that.
This
he
is
came in all
OG.
courageous and heroic, and even gave everyone hope that they'd win. Then he got all 99 of his lives taken away in an instant. He's a fraud. I'm actually getting angry just thinking about it. Again, more spoilers for JJK, so skip here to avoid them again.
Nah, we good,
really
bro.
Be doing myself a disservice if I didn't mention this guy. Sukuna, while he was in Megami's body, had short-lived but severe fraud allegations. The case was being built, and he was almost the biggest deceiver of all of new gen manga. If you guys were reading the manga last year around this same time, you know that for like 3 chapters straight, Gojo was putting the pause on this guy Sukuna. I'm talking red back shots wrapping around the building, attempting to 3v1 Gojo and still being on the ropes at times, hollow purple nukes, yelling for Maharaga. Frody even tried throwing fire extinguishers as a means to distract Gojo, and to top it all off, getting Black Flash so hard that all 4 of your eyes whited out. The memes were actually out of control. Trust me, if it was the other way around, I'd make this exact segment about Gojo. But we all know how everything ended up. So Sukuna ended up clearing the fraud allegations completely. And finally, I wanted to briefly mention Father from Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. Although I know why he lost, realistically, I feel like he had everything going his way.
This was such a good anime.
He had all the strength and got boxed up by Edward, a teenager. The alchemy we saw him do was out of this world, so him losing was kind of crazy. But the whole point of his character is Father being smart enough to craft this entire plan to get this strong, but too dumb to understand certain aspects of humans to actually succeed. But that's kind of boring to say, so I'm gonna just say he's a fraud. There are way more characters that have a stronger case to be considered frauds, but I just wanted to call out some of the nonsense seen in a lot of discourse nowadays, which seems to be a lot more black and white than it should be. The context and circumstance matter a lot in how much of a fraud a character is, which is something many don't consider. Hope y'all enjoyed the video, and
okay, that was good.
You made it this far. Can't thank y'all enough for this.
That was good. I see what you did there. The biggest frauds ever, right? But it was in quotations, so it made you think that he was going to talk about these people, but it was actually people saying that they're frauds when they're really not.
Also, thank you so much for 90K. 100K is the next stop, I promise y'all. With that being said, have a great day and peace out.
Fire, fire. I like that. I like that. Okay, what did he say? Don't make me watch that mid again, Vash. No one is like JJK. One Piece and One Punch Man is better. Yo, bro, relax, bro. What you mean? What's the hate for? Anyways, man, shout out to Olamasama. Dope video. We're gonna need a part 2. Thank you.